my rent now, I rent a 2-bedroom house, 1 bath. It's 7,000 pesos every month. You know, for anybody that hasn't done the conversion, it's about 140 US dollars a month.
So this is Dan of Vagabond Buddha, the YouTube channel Vagabond Awake. Today we're here with Calvin. So Calvin's been with us before, and there's news. He started a YouTube channel, Sunshine Shoulders. Is that right, Calvin?
Yes, Dan. That's correct.
Good. That's great. So we'll put that in the link below so people don't have to remember it, but it's pretty straightforward, Sunshine Shoulders. So Calvin, you've been helpful to people before talking about expenses and that kind of thing, and so I thought we'd approach that and some other ideas also. But a little background first. How long have you known about the Philippines? How long have you been going there, and that sort of thing? And what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, I have 11 years on and off with the Philippines. I've been living here continuously for over 3 years now, and I heard about it when I was in the Navy. I was in the U.S. Navy back in the 80s, but we made a med cruise. I was on the USS John F. Kennedy. So we never made it over to the Philippines. It's just something I had put on my bucket list, and I forgot all about it. And, you know, when the timing and everything was right, I said, well, let me go over here to the Philippines and, you know, check that list off. As a matter of fact, I saved up $20,000. I was going to take a trip around the world, but I arrived in the Philippines first, and I never went anywhere else.
It's a great story. And so now you've been to other parts of the Philippines, but where you settled somewhere, and that's important for people to understand that you picked a place after seeing several. Where are you in the Philippines? Okay,
I'm in San Carlos City, Negros Occidental. That's in the western Visayas region of the Philippines. It's about, if anybody's familiar with 𝐕𝐚𝐠𝐷𝐾 City, it's about 4 hours north of 𝐕𝐚𝐠𝐷𝐾 City. It's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Cebu City. You take the fast craft over to Toledo, Cebu, and then you can take either a van or a bus, and it takes another hour and a half to the big city.
And so, since you know the Philippines, how is it you picked out? What were the qualities of this place, San Carlos, that you found charming?
Well, to be honest with you, the Philippines is so vast and it's so diverse. When people ask me about the Philippines, that's what I ask them. I said, well, which Philippines are you talking about? Right. But I initially came to Cebu City because, you know, I'd heard so much about Manila, and I was like, I don't want any parts of Manila. It's too big. It's too congested. So I came to Cebu. I liked it in Cebu. But as I got older, I was looking for more of a laid-back place, not so big, not so congested, and I basically stumbled upon San Carlos City. I was on my way from Dumaguete to Bacolod City, and the series liner, which is the bus line over here, stopped in San Carlos City. And man, when I saw this place, to be honest with you, certain parts of this place looks like the United States, looks like it could be in the Midwest, and you'll see that on the photos I sent you. It's voted the cleanest city in the Philippines for the 2nd year in a row. It has, I'm active. I'm 57, but I'm still active. I'm in the best shape of my life. It has tennis courts, basketball. If I want to go walking, running, it's got the whole 9 yards here. And like I said, doesn't have a whole lot of nightlife because I'm done with all that, really. Yeah. So I just want. I don't like to say retire because I say, you come to the Philippines to rejuvenate. If you want to retire, stay in America, okay? But if you want to rejuvenate, come to the Philippines. We'll rejuvenate you. Yeah. So St. Carlos is really a nice place, man.
That's great. So is there some of the, I've noticed that when we were like in Dumaguete and other parts of the Philippines, we'd often live in one spot and then we wanted to go to the beach. We'd have to jump on a ferry and go somewhere. Are there beaches nearby you get to that are pleasant, nice beaches that you don't have to ride a ferry to, or what's that like?
This is Dan of Vagabond Awake. The world is changing really fast. You may be retired sooner than you thought, or you may not have as much money as you thought you would. Come check out our over 50 plus retired cheap reports all over the world to learn where you can live on less money. Thanks for watching. Click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to see our retired cheap reports.
They've got one beach where it's about 10 minutes away on the motor. And because if you look at San Carlos on the map, you'll see it's right on the water like most parts of the Philippines. But yeah, now it's not white sand beach, but it's a very clean beach. The sand is clean, it's soft, the water's clean. And then right across, maybe a 5-minute ferry ride is Siquijor Island. Okay, and the beaches and the shorelines are a little bit more better. And you pay, I think it's 15 or 20 pesos, and you get into the little pump boat and they take you over. It only takes 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, there's a few beaches right around here. So you don't have that long ride like from Dumaguete to Siquijor Island. It's not like that.
So let us know, so now we know where you are in the world. What are your expenses like your rent, electric, this kind of thing?
My rent now, I rent a 2-bedroom house, 1 bath. It's about $140 US a month.
Wow.
Then my electric bill, which I have right here, this month I got pretty lucky. It was 649 pesos, which is about $13.40 for my electric bill. And here's my typical water bill. It's 213 pesos. That's about $4.50. So that's my expenses as far as my living expenses. Now, my food is usually $300 to $400, $300 on the low end, $400 on the high end. Okay, because I try to eat clean over here, so I don't have a refrigerator full of frozen stuff. I usually go to the marketplace, and I sent you some pictures of the market about every other day and get fresh, fish, chicken.
Yeah.
I don't eat pork, but that's usually how I do it. If I need my groceries, I'll go to one of the Save More or Gesano Mall here for those, for the groceries.
What about like internet and some other things?
But the new outfit is going to cost me 1,150 pesos a month. That's for internet and cable. Okay, 10 Mbps internet, which is here. Then I have a Philhealth health insurance policy, and it's about $40, 40 US a month, about 1,600. And my cell phone, I don't have a plan. So what I do is every 7 days I'll spend 100 pesos. So that's 400. And that's it, Now, of course, if I want to buy me some slippers or something like that, but, finding clothes over here for me is fairly hard. I'm still wearing the clothes that I bought with me. Or if I go to Bahal, or if I go to or one of those places, they those souvenir shirts, they fit you because they always run big.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's really it for me now. Pre-pandemic, I'll go somewhere, I'll travel somewhere every single month. So that's another $200. So I'm still under $1,000 for the month. And that argument of 1,000, can you live on 1,000 US dollars a month in the Philippines? That's a legendary argument, Dan, and it's going to be around forever. Okay,
right.
Because it's like comparing apples and oranges. I can't compare my lifestyle to Dan's lifestyle,
Right.
or where you live. If you live in Metro Manila, you're going to pay more. But absolutely, if you have 1,000 US dollars and you got that consistently coming in every month, you can live comfortable over here.
Cool. Now you're like me. You work out, every week, several days. But what would it cost to join a gym?
This is actually in town.
Okay.
It's called the Viper Gym, and when I go to the gym, because see, I've got a home, no equipment, no problem home workout that I use now because I'm afraid of the gyms. Now this is pre-pandemic. I was going to the Viper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's about $9 US per month if you want to join. And then if you just want to go on a day-to-day basis, it's 25 pesos. So that's about 50 cents US.
Okay.
And you have the full got the full run of the gym. And this is not some rinky-dink place. It's fairly new, and you'll see. I sent you some photos of it.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, it's the same with me. I run on the beach, and I have this thick rubber band I use for curls, and I just do home kind of workouts. In fact, I have some videos on that. Well, so last month, what would you say your expenses were, not including travel?
Okay, that's easy. See, during the pandemic, it's really been low because over here they're very strict.
Yeah.
The borders closed. You can't go anywhere.
Right.
Expenses was less than 800. It's been less than 800 for the last 6 months.
Okay.
Because very, very strict here.
So under 800 a month during the pandemic, because you can't really travel. What's a good number to throw at people if they're like you and I, and they like to go to they like to go to the city once in a weekend, a month, or they like to go to a white sand beach somewhere? And what's your travel expense run if you do that once a month?
You mean how much it costs me to go to these places?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My budget, I set a budget of $200 US. And what I'll do, Dan, I won't stay on the resort. I'll get an Airbnb, okay, in the resort. Like if I go to 𝐕𝐚𝐺, I'll get an Airbnb. And, of course, transportation over here is very cheap. I don't fly when I'm here. I usually take the series and then maybe the ocean jet, which is the fast craft here. So that's very cheap. That's not, it's not even going to cost me $20.
Right.
And I usually take for a week. And, that's with food and everything. It's about $200, and I'm not slumming it.
Right.
I'm in an Airbnb, I'm eating the foods I want to eat. And that's my transportation to and from. So about $200, you can really have a good time because you have to understand that's a lot of money over here for the typical Filipino.
Okay, good. So your 1,000 number, that's including some nice travel and seeing some other spots. It's not just stuck in one house. What would you say are some of your other favorite spots in the Philippines for people that are considering more other spots to live?
Okay, now to live, I like Iloilo City. That's really a clean place. It's really nice, really clean. And I always look at the crime index wherever I'm trying to go. And see, let's use San Carlos City. The crime index is 25 here, one of the lowest in the Philippines, compared to Metro Manila, which is 74. Okay. But Iloilo City, of course, I like Cebu. I like Cebu City, but it's grown so much since I've been here. The traffic's really gotten bad. I would even suggest Dumaguete if you don't mind being around a lot of expats. But there's so many of these small cities like San Carlos. These are second-class cities. And I would suggest that you seek that out because, they're really nice. Because once you get outside of Manila and Cebu and maybe Davao, this is really what the Philippines is right here. It's not all this fancy stuff. It's these little small towns, one after the other after the other. They call them municipalities, some of them. But see, when my lease is up here, I'm even thinking of moving to Siquijor Island, to do some island living, maybe a year or two,
I love that place.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite places. Not so many tourists, white sand beach.
Please like this video, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. We'd sure appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching our video. Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.